Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on the super full moon in the 30th degree of Aries. So yeah, I'm gonna talk all about the full moon. If you've heard this before, if you listen to me regular, then you can skip the next 10 minutes and listen to what I'm saying about the current full moon. So yeah, in astrology, the full moon serves as a powerful symbol of accumulation, endings, and also illumination. The moon is at its fullest, it's at its brightest compared to the new moon when we don't see it. So yeah, the full moon represents the peak of energy and the manifestations of intentions that we set in the new moon. So a phase in terms of new moon to full moon is about 28 to 30 days, maybe 31 days sometimes, but not really, it's more like 28 days. So yeah, we set intentions on the new moon, we've worked through them for the 4 weeks, and then at the full moon we evaluate and we let go, or we restart or continue. So the full moon invites us to reflect on our personal journeys, encouraging us to assess the progress that we've made and the lessons that we've made in the past year for some of you, or the past 28 days. So the increased energy of the full moon can bring emotions to the surface that are hidden deep within us. So sometimes we can feel overwhelmed and just really hypersensitive, but this offers us the opportunity to confront and release what no longer serves us. And by embracing this time of release that the full moon brings, we can create a space for new growth and transformation, allowing our true self to fully emerge more fully. Of course, if you listen to me, I work holistically, and I believe that self-refinement, progress, personal development, change, whatever you want to call it, is more like a lifelong thing, rather than we get enlightened or we become healed. We are never healed, we are always healing. And sometimes when we think that we're completely healed, of course some trauma that used to bother us, when we work through it, it won't bother us or trigger us as much, but we have to allow ourselves that room as human beings to know that sometimes our past may influence our future, so that we can be aware of that and know how to deal with it. So when it is full moon, we can engage in practices that promote introspection, self-reflection, and us gaining emotional, spiritual and psychological clarity. So journaling our thoughts and feelings can help us process any realizations that come up, and meditation can deepen our connection to our inner wisdom. And rituals such as lighting candles, creating altars, or performing release ceremonies can increase our spiritual insight, and this can make it easier for us to align with our higher self. So the full moon encourages us to use the moon's energy not just for personal reflection, but also for setting intentions for your future, and also integrating the lessons of your past while making way for new opportunities. So now I'm going to talk more about the esoteric. So this is the surface level meanings of the full moon energy and the effect it can have on us. So as I said, it's an increased time of full moon, energy, moon energy, and this can lead to us being more sensitive and reflecting on all the endings that we've had in our life so far, or the endings that may be coming up in your life, and it encourages us to tap into our intuition or our deductive reasoning skills or logical rational skills, whatever. Some of us are more intuitive, some of us are more logical, and anyway, it wants us to recognize the patterns and emotions that have been obscured in the shadows or in your psyche that you've buried, because a lot of us bury our trauma, and this is why a lot of us escape into our drug, alcohol, or Netflix and chill, or other addictions that we may do, So the full moon moon, and its light illuminates our inner landscape, so it's inward energy, whereas new moon is all about taking external actions. The full moon is all about going within and then reflecting on what you need to do at the coming new moon. So it wants us to confront truths that we may have been avoiding, and doing this can lead to greater self-respect, awareness, love, forgiveness, and deeper connection with yourself, because I'm a promoter of each person should become their own best friend and love themselves deeply, and this is how we can truly love others. And by acknowledging any feelings of regret, shame, guilt, bitterness, resentment and all of that, we can use this energy to manifest change within ourselves and growth, and transforming insights into actionable steps, or transforming those insights, if we are thinking about bitterness and regrets, into things we write down or voice note down or record ourselves saying, and we can make a strategic plan on how we can let go of resentment and guilt and shame. And remember, it's a journey, it's not a destination. We can also practice gratitude, and sometimes we can find it hard. We may not have things to be grateful for, but I'm a great believer that we can have at least one thing that we are grateful for, even if it's just the fact that you're breathing. Even sometimes you may not want to be, because I've been there. I know it can be depressed and stuff like that, but trying to focus on a positive can really help us, even though things could be bleak in your reality right now. So whether it be through visualization, affirmations, or releasing old habits and beliefs, the full moon energy gives us a chance for more personal empowerment, love and renewal. And by creating a ritual to honour our achievements and the lessons learned along the way, it can just help us feel more in sync. And actively using and engaging with the full moon energy not only increases our spiritual well-being and our mental, psychological well-being and physical and spiritual well-being, it also creates a deeper connection to the rhythms of nature and our own life cycle. So now I'm going to dig into the esoteric, spiritual, deeper meanings of the full moon phase. So again, as I said, it wants us to focus on psychological transformation and emotional and spiritual release, and it can guide us to navigate deeply rooted feelings and subconscious patterns if we're open to it. Because of course the full moon happens for everyone and not everyone engages with it, but if you're willing to go within the full moon energy, it really allows us to dig into the realms of our psyche, our hidden fears, our desires and unresolved issues. And it really is a powerful catalyst for inner work and shadow work. And if you don't know what those are, research, because I'm all about the research, But in short, inner work is all about self-reflection and exploring your thoughts, emotions and beliefs and behaviours to gain a deeper understanding of yourself. It involves examining your inner world to heal past wounds, improve self-awareness and create personal growth. Shadow work is a specific aspect of inner work that focuses on uncovering and integrating the unconscious or repressed parts of yourself. So the bits that you buried, maybe when you was younger, your parents or someone said you shouldn't do that, you can't sing or something, you can't dance, and now you have this urging to be a dancer, but because you've been told that you cannot be one, so you can confront with dark aspects, the side of you that are maybe a bit aggressive, and a part of you that may be confident for some of you, because a lot of the time we are told not to, especially in English culture, not to be egotistical, and anything can be egotistical. If you have any form of self-confidence, then you're egotistical sort of thing, So shadow work includes facing your fears, insecurities and traumas and negative traits to embrace your wholeness fully. And by acknowledging and working through your darker aspects, you can achieve great self-acceptance and transformation. And by integrating all aspects aspects of yourself, you become whole, and then you'll be able to navigate the world in a better way. So yeah, full moon energy is all about embracing the duality of light and shadow, because full moon, we see it when the night sky, it's dark, but then we have this bright light, so it's a visual representation of light and shadow, light and darkness. And as we learn to balance our emotional responses and become more psychologically and spiritually grounded, we can gain wisdom from both our strengths and vulnerabilities, our weaknesses. And by being able to give ourselves space to facilitate this deeper exploration, we can journal to get in touch with our intuitive self, our higher self, meditate, and this can help us get more emotional clarity. And remember, in meditation, because there's a lot of myths, we don't need to still out all the voices, we just need to give ourselves the space to be mindful, watch the voices, the inner critic that comes out. A lot of people say, I'm meditating wrong. No, meditation is all about you becoming aware of that mental chatter, and as you work through your trauma, you will realise that your mind gets quieter and quieter. And as someone who used to have lots of inner critical voices and now have found that kind of still voice within me, I can vouch for it. And the only way I got there was by working through my psychological and emotional trauma, and I'm not a fool. I know the only way I can stay here is by daily working through it as well. So this is why I say that recovery, lifelong management, personal development, whatever you want to call it, is a journey. It is not a destination. So the symbolism of the full moon wants us to connect with the archetype of nurturing and intuition, and by inviting these esoteric insights into your routine and researching the symbolism of nurturing and intuition, so loving on yourself, self-care, positive self-care, not overindulging and calling it self-care like, oh look, I'm doing self-care, I'm drinking all the drink I want to drink, and I'm indulging in all the food and I'm being reckless. No, that's not what healthy self-care is about. Providing yourself with the things that are nurturing yourself, so looking after your physical health, mental health and spiritual health, so we can empower ourselves to make psychological shifts, and this can lead to a more authentic expression of our emotions and our self-expression in general, and give us a clearer vision of our path ahead. And it can also increase our self-awareness and love, and strengthens our capacity to manifest our intentions as we move forward. So now I'm just going to talk a bit more about the rituals we can do. So again, as I said, we can set intention, whether we voice record them, write them down in a journal. We can create a sacred space. Some people do altars with candles and crystals and other symbolic representations, and whatever you choose, pictures, tarot cards. But remember, these are just symbols. The real power to transform is within you, and you can do it without tarot, crystals and all of that. But at the beginning of our journeys, we need to use these things to focus us on things higher than ourselves, so we can reflect on our goals, our intentions, and write down what we wish to release and what we aspire to invite into our lives. Rituals such as burning paper and then releasing our intentions to the universe, or burying our intentions in the earth, can symbolise letting go, and placing our new intentions visible on an altar, or sticking it up in your home or somewhere personal to you, or as a sort of like sticky note on your phone screen, something like that. Whatever you want to do. Also, visualization, different form of meditation, breath work meditation, mindfulness meditation, mantra meditation, can amplify your focus at this time. And as you sit in stillness, as still as you can get, and envision the light of the moon, surrounding you and nurturing you and charging your intentions, this can be really empowering, and it can also strengthen your commitment to your goals, but also can create a deeper connection with the rhythms of nature, allowing you to align your personal growth with the universe cycles, and engaging in these rituals can give you significant healing and manifest positive changes in your life if you're willing to take those daily steps to change your life and that positive action overall, as well as forgiving yourself for all your mistakes and realising failure is part of the journey as much as success, you know. So ultimately the full moon is about reflecting on your personal experiences and how they align with lunar cycles in general. Journaling your emotions can reveal patterns in your life, such as some of you may feel a surge of creativity, or some of you may face emotional challenges or different things in between. And by identifying these moments, these feelings, you can create a personal narrative that resonates with the full moon's energy, allowing you to recognise how it influences your life overall. Additionally, you can reflect on your relationship, the relationship you should be having with yourself, or relationships in your life in general. Are they nurturing you, or are they taking away from your energy? What can you improve in your relationships? What can you improve in yourself to make sure that you create better and healthier relationships? Also, you could reflect on times where you felt really deeply connected to others and experienced an increase in intuition or connectedness, can provide insights into unique sort of like spiritual vibrations present at this time, and just give you a sense of warmth or clarity on what you need to do in your relationships. As I said earlier, some of you may decide to let go of relationships, so ultimately embracing and reflecting during the full moon energy can create a sense of gratitude and awareness, love and acceptance and forgiveness, increasing your ability to use the energy of the full moon for intention setting and healing. And by actively engaging with your past experiences and thinking about your future and what you need to let go of in order to have the future you want, you can develop a richer connection to the full moon and moon cycles in general, and also just allow the full moon and its presence to serve as a guiding light in your life. So yeah, that's the end of this. Now this happens at 9:29 p.m. or times are in GMT time, but just 18 minutes later at 9:47 p.m. the moon moves into Taurus, the first degree of Taurus. So yeah, it's sort of like an Aries Taurus full moon, because last month in October we had the super full Hunters moon in Aries, but I have to go with the timings, and at the time of there's that full moon, the moon's in Aries, but then 18 minutes later it goes into Taurus. So first I'm going to talk about what the full Beaver Moon is. So the full Beaver Moon gets its name from indigenous tribes, and who noted that this time of year was when beavers were actively preparing for winter. So it symbolises hard work, resourcefulness and preparation for the colder months ahead. So the positive energy of this full Beaver Moon encourages us to focus on building and strengthening our foundations, whether it's in our relationships, work or personal growth. It's an ideal time to just make sure you've got enough resources for winter, and making a strategic plan to get them, or making what you have, if it's just a small amount, making it stretch across the colder months. It's also a great time for planning, setting goals, taking practical steps towards achieving them, but we just need to watch out for the negative energy that this can bring. We can feel overwhelmed by the responsibilities, or we can just feel really rigid and inflexible in our approach, not wanting to come outside of our comfort zone, in our mindset, just like, oh, it's cold, I don't like the cold, I don't want to prepare, I don't have enough. And this may be true because we're all going through it, kind of, but again, that's why I said it's about planning and looking at the resources you do have and making it stretch and asking for help, especially if in the UK we've got food banks, we've got, and I know it can be hard to get this help as well. But, looking for help and not feeling sort of like prideful in getting help, because all humans need help, whether it's on the physical, financial, emotional and spiritual levels. This is, we have our own inner strength and stuff, but sometimes it's nice to ask for help as well, to make our burdens less, To make the most of this full Beaver Moon energy, we have to try and embrace the productivity it brings, organise our tasks, work with others, ask for help, staying flexible to the changes that come our way as well. So now I'm going to talk about the holistic, astrological, practical, worldly, materialistic, financial and social collective meanings of the super full Beaver Moon in Aries and Taurus. So the full moon, when it's in Aries, it crowns it with us being able to be individual, have more ambition, motivation, being more pioneering in our spirit, wanting to try new things, encourages us to embrace being courageous in our actions and words and to assert our needs and desires. But the caution always with Mars Aries energy is to make sure you respect other people's rights to do so. Do not be impulsive and aggressive, as this can blow things out of proportion and make a mountain out of a molehill, make something small big. So as the moon goes into Taurus 18 minutes later, it provides the grounding and stability needed to, for us to chill out and to be a bit more appreciative of other people's needs. But it can also make us very stubborn in our focus as well, and overly sensual, wanting to overindulge and overspend and stuff. But it allows us to appreciate material comforts like good food, good wine, good company, or good drink, whatever your tipple is. Not everyone likes wine, cider, beer, lemonade, orange juice, water. So it wants us to find a balance between, our fierce objectives, going after what we really want, and the practical realities of your situation. But make sure you're not just using the guise of being realistic to keep you in your negative patterns of thinking or acting, or in your toxic ways of relating to yourself and others. So the super full Beaver Moon is raw energy of new beginnings and assertiveness. And as I said, Aries is ruled by Mars, so this embodies enthusiasm, newness, giving us the energy to pursue our desires with passion. This full Beaver Moon shines the light, illuminates the areas of our life where we may feel stagnant, old in our comfort zone, not going forward, just repeating the same old cycles. It pushes us and supports us in breaking free of our comfort zones and starting transformative journeys. It's an ideal time for setting intentions that align with your personal goals, and this increase in emotional energy can amplify our sort of like clarity and our resolve, our focus. We can just be like, no, I'm committed to change, I'm letting go of this or that or everything, And as I said, the moon going into Taurus kind of like allows us to be stable and practical. It gives us the grounding energy that allows us to consolidate the insights gained, so we'll be able to combine them, allow us to use the insights that we gain, whether it be by visualization, meditation, listening to music. We'll be able to create tangible, practical plans for our goals if we allow ourselves, because as I said, Taurus brings us back down to earth, whereas Aries takes us out of our comfort zone, giving us new ideas if we allow it. And we can just find ourselves drawn to nurturing activities that create a sense of self-esteem, love, acceptance, forgiveness, and just make us feel kind of more materially secure, just secure within ourselves as well. And it's sort of like this full moon is guiding us towards a more harmony, as we integrate our goals, our ambition with stability and our inner values and ethics as well. But ultimately, it provides a unique opportunity for personal growth if we allow it, and it blends our assertiveness with practicality, and as I said, it helps us align our actions, words and thoughts with our inner values and long-term goals as well. Practically, it's a beneficial energy to reflect on the areas of our life that requires that fresh energy, that new approach, to solving our problems, to improving our life, whether it be on the higher consciousness, exercise, diet levels, or relationship level, and it allows us to start new things, initiate new conversations, maybe conversations that we've been avoiding, or making bold changes in our routine. It allows us to take decisive actions, to commit, to follow through as well. So it's a prime time for setting clear intentions that resonate with our personal aspirations, writing down goals and using it to allow the dynamic energy to push us to go after our goals actively, not just write them down and put them in a book away in the south, but to actively use it. And we can use the moon in Taurus to be practical in our execution, our implementation of our goals. We can use this stable energy to create concrete plans that outlines the steps needed to achieve ambitions, because a lot of the time we see the bigger picture but we forget the day-to-day steps we have to take. Oh, I want to be a CEO in 25 years. Okay, fine. But you can't spend that 25 years just, playing computer games. You have to maybe start off at a junior level position, gain qualifications throughout your career, network, continue studying, make sure you balance your physical health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, look after your finances. There's lots of plans, that we have to take on a day-to-day basis to get to where we want to get to. So we can use this energy to create budgets, to think about our resources, especially our time and energy. In which ways do you waste your time and energy, and don't forget to really take time to write down step by step the steps you will need to take to bring your dreams into reality, building support systems, building your self-resilience, love, acceptance, forgiveness. Because a lot of the time, our sense of self, if we don't think we're worth it, then it can be hard to stick to an exercise goal. I've been there, it took me years to get to the root. Why do I keep self-sabotaging? And a lot of us do, because normally it comes from a belief that we don't deserve our good. So it may seem like we're building ourselves up by our actions, but our mindset forms that block. So we can use this energy to spiritually and psychologically and emotionally overcome our blocks, but more about that. So on the worldly materialistic level, we can just feel a strong drive to pursue new financial opportunities, but we just have to be mindful, as I said earlier, of the materialistic temptations that can lead us to impulsive decisions, overspending and just doing too much because we feel we need to show off. Second house, inner values. Taurus, even though ground is solid energy, on the negative, because we can make us want to overindulge in sensual experiences, whether it be hookup and stuff like that, or just Netflix and chilling. That's the same thing kind of, but just overindulgent. So we just need to watch out for overspending, and we can use this time actually to think about how societal pressures and trends sway our choices, and take this time out to tell the difference, differentiate between what aligns with your true values and what may just be a fleeting desire, or just you'll be doing it because this is what social media tells you to do. You wanting to keep up with the Joneses, you want to sow that ego, and this can get you into financial or even emotional, psychological hot water, out of balance. So just really think about what you are doing. But as the moon goes into Taurus, as this emphasise security and stability, we can use this to reassess our investments and resource allocations. So again, resources is not just money, it's time and energy as well. So ultimately, as the full moon continues and it spends more time in Taurus than it does in Aries, actually, we can use this to, be practical to ground our goals in reality, finding, that balance between the fiery spirit of Aries and Taurus, logical, methodical approach as well, ensuring that your decisions reflect both your passions and practical objectives, So in terms of investments, we can look into market trends, assess the value of your assets. For some of you, make adjustments, changes in your savings, how much you save, and, just be grounded in your perspective. So maybe you say, I don't have enough to save. Well, do you vape? Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you, what are your luxuries? Could you save £1, $1? Could you save, even 50 pence, 50 cents a month? There's always something that we can do, even though we are living through hard times. I'm not saying it's all easy, but think about what you can do rather than what you cannot right now. And by using the energy of both of these signs, we can create a balanced approach to our financial plans, mixing boldness with a prudent evaluation of risks and rewards, and just thinking about your risks and reward system. In what ways do you reward yourself? Do you overindulge? Can you cut back? Which ways do you reward yourself? A lot of the time we can get tired of routine because we don't have, we don't take enough time to, value ourselves and our efforts, and the fact that you get up every morning and you go to work, or you go to college, or you go to school, So, again, funds can come into it. Well, can you afford I was going to say 26p candy bar, so my eyes are not that much, about £1, $1, right? So can you afford your favourite candy bar, sweets, or apple, or orange, whatever it is, just a little reward, even a TV show, maybe go online and, download a PDF version of a book, there's always something that we can do to light up our world. And if we take time to have gratitude for the smaller things, because a lot of the time it's like, oh well, I don't have the car I want, I don't have the house I want, life is crap. But think about the smaller things in your life that you can appreciate and show gratitude for, and it can always be something, even if it's that you breathe. There's people not breathing, as we know, in the cemeteries, not to be morbid, but there's always something to be, grateful for. So again, on the financial level, it's a great energy to, create solid foundations for our financial plans, focusing on long-term stability of our wealth creation, and building over short-term gains. Building wealth, it's a marathon, it is not a sprint. It wants us to have more growth and resilience, and to establish budgets, as I said, and save for future goals, even if it is just that $1. Think about ways you can bring income passively or increase your active income as well, and just go for opportunities that align with your desire for security. And you can also explore, for some of you, real estate, commodities, like I don't know much about it, but the stocks, right? But investing in oranges, people do that. That's like commodities, or even salt, because we always have to use salt and orange juice or apples and stuff like that. And I know these are finite goods with time limited, but looking into that area of investment may be good for some of you. Also, it can be good for you to connect with financial advisors or industry experts for some of you, or just a good friend or mentor, someone who's good with money, and people that resonate with your values, or values that you would like to incorporate into your life, and also focus really on nurturing yourself, but also cultivating, developing your financial resources. And doing this can build a more secure environment that supports both your immediate needs and your long-term aspirations. So again, the key word is it's a marathon, not a sprint, and you can use this in all areas of your life. Okay, so on the social collective level, because Aries inspires us to take the initiative and be courageous, especially in our social groups and stuff, we can find ourselves maybe drawn to new groups or activities that ignite our passion and enthusiasm. Again, it's a good energy to build new friendships or deepen existing bonds in all forms of relationship, as Aries energy encourages us to express our needs and desires openly. The moon in Taurus allows us to, experience more nurturing, stability, and it brings more of a sense of loyalty and commitment. So it pushes us to invest in relationships and activities that bring us comfort and security. We can just feel a stronger connection to our community, pushing us to engage in cooperative efforts or support local initiatives that resonate with our values. And by balancing the dynamic, bold energy of Aries with the grounded, nurturing influence of Taurus, we can cultivate, develop a more fulfilling and resilient social network that enriches both our personal and professional life, as well as, gives us a sense of community as well. In terms of individual growth, it allows us to focus on what needs our attention right now, and, it brings this intensity. We can be focused on, transformation, change. It allows us to break free from constraints that hold us back, and it just encourages us to embrace our individuality and go after what we really want. And it just reminds us that personal growth comes from stepping outside of our comfort zone. And the Taurus energy allows us to have a deeper appreciation for the beauty in our life and having gratitude for the small things. As I said, it supports us in reflecting on our values, and it just allows us to take a more holistic approach to change and development. So on a psychological level, the Aries and Taurus moon wants us to confront our goals head on, or any tension in our relationships or anything we've been putting off in our communication with others. And if we become more decisive, this can create a sense of confidence and urgency. The moon in Taurus encourages us to slow down and really assess, reflect on what really brings us fulfillment, happiness, joy, and, really self-reflect and, really integrate and find a balance between our impulsive drive for achievement with the, necessity of wanting stability on a material, psychological, emotional, psychological level, and self-love, acceptance, forgiveness. And the Sabian symbol, which I'm going to go more into later, of a duck pond and its brood, reminds us of the importance of nurturing relationships, community, and ourselves. So ultimately, on a spiritual level, it emphasizes the interconnectedness of our desires and the support systems that can help us, thrive right now, do well. It allows us to find psychological well-being that depends not only on our personal ambitions, motivation, but also on love, self-acceptance, worth, esteem, forgiveness, awareness. And also, the connections that we can cultivate, develop with others. So it encourages us to balance personal assertiveness with emotional nourishment, and this can lead to a more holistic approach to our goals and overall happiness. So on the spiritual level, the dynamic energy of Aries, that's all about self-discovery, initiation, starting new things, courage, kind of supports us and resonates with the concept of, that warrior spirit, going after what we really want, finding our true purpose and pursuing it, pushing us to confront fears and restrictions, limitations that have been holding us back from, feeling the richness of our life. And it invites us to honour our individuality and assert, make our mark on the world, creating a deeper connection to our inner strength and values and authenticity. So spiritually, Aries energy calls for us to be mindful, especially regarding the impulses that drive us, considering, as I said earlier, be assertive, but don't be impulsive and aggressive, and respect other people's needs to be themselves as well. It wants us to think about how our intentions, our actions, our thoughts, our words align with our higher self and spiritual growth as well. It's an ideal time to align our actions with our core values, and if you don't know what they are, think about them. A lot of the time our values are what society tells us to value, our parents, religions and cultures or friends. So just really think about what really matters to you from your own self-reflection, on your life events, on the needs that you want to, meet in your life as well. And it reminds us that, that we have to make sure that our ambitions, our goals are not merely driven by ego, but by a desire for genuine happiness and enlightenment, stability as well. So by recognising the dual nature of Aries, both the bold initiator and the reflective seeker, we can navigate this energy with a balanced perspective. Now, the moon in Taurus spiritually, as I said, brings stability and grounding to our actions and feelings. It allows us to be steadfast, kind of firm in our convictions and truths and go after what we really want. It allows us to be reliable as well, so showing up for ourselves each day, to make sure we do the things that will help us meet our long-term goals. So, it allows us to have that persistence, Taurus energy, fixed energy, so we're talking Leo, Scorpio as well, can be very focused at the highest ebb and follow through to meet their long-term goals. It encourages us to focus on what truly matters, as well as, exploring our relationship with abundance, both material and spiritual abundance. Not all abundance comes from money to gain or anything like that. A lot of abundance can come from within. It helps us to develop gratitude for all that we have. It's a chance to dig deep into our values and align them with our actions, and this can lead to a sense of inner peace and happiness. And a lot of us can just find comfort in the familiar with our friends, lovers, being at home, being at bed, gaming, exercising, reading a book, just doing the things that are comforting to you in your environment or relationships as well. Again, it reminds us to having a deep appreciation for life's simple pleasures, such as spending time with yourself or loved ones, and this can create a sense of contentment and joy in you, in your present moments while you're doing these things. But negatively, the attachment to doing the familiar can result in resistance to change and people saying, no, don't change, just do this. And this can create emotional tension when you're faced with unexpected situations right now. So, allow yourself to get outside of your comfort zone, get help when need be, try and stay grounded and do things that can help you stay healthily grounded as well. And Taurus energy, as I said, it's very sensual, so it pushes us to cultivate a deeper connection with our physical senses, and as I said, engage in those activities that bring you pleasure, such as enjoying nature, savouring food, indulging in creative projects and expression. And this can help you express and process your feelings more constructively, productively. And again, it inspires us to be patient and to keep on going in our emotional matters, perseverance. And once again, it highlights the importance of self-care and comfort. And just as I said, allow yourself to nurture your overall well-being, recognising the value of stability while also allowing yourself to grow and change and get outside of your comfort zone. And allow yourself to set intentions that resonate with your soul, your higher consciousness desires, or to let go, because the full moon ultimately is about letting go of the things you need to let go of. So ultimately, the Sabian symbol of a duck pond and its brood again invokes the need for us to find support and comfort, a sense of belonging and a warmth of shared experiences. It speaks to the importance of emotional security and the interconnectedness of individuals within a nurturing space. It invites us to explore feelings of safety and protection, both for ourselves and those we care about. On a spiritual level, the duck pond represents a tranquil haven, a place for reflection and rejuvenation. It encourages you to seek balance in your emotional life, blending the nurturing aspects of Taurus with the dynamic energy of Aries. And by embracing these dual energies, we can just create more resilience, as I said, in ourselves, and just become more more in tune with our inner self and our inner world and our higher self. So as the time goes on, there's 18 minutes, the moon moves into the first degree of Taurus, and this is represented by the Sabian symbol, a clear mountain stream. So positively, it brings tranquility, so adding to the duck pond symbology, purity and clarity. Again, it backs up that this is a time of emotional, psychological, spiritual renewal and refreshment, which is similar to the vitalizing flow of a pristine mountain stream. It supports us once again in becoming stable and grounded as well. But negatively, we can be inflexible and stubborn due to the nature of Taurus energy, and this can lead to challenges in adapting to the changes that we need, especially in our emotional responses right now. Physically, because this Sabian degree is related to the throat, it wants us to look at our throat health, looking after sore throats. It's the colder season now. Thyroid imbalances, doing the best we can to manage those, and just looking after our vocal cords and any problems there as well, and taking supplements and doing exercises and drinking fluids and eating foods that can help us have better throat and digestive health, all in all, and ear, nose and throat really, so looking after all of that area, doing gentle massages and stuff like that as well. It signifies the need for better communication and expression of our thoughts and emotions and our listening skills as well. Esoterically, it reminds us of the importance of speaking our truth as well. And so, we really have to focus on, during this full moon, on finding a balance between self-reflection and finding a balance in how we communicate with others and ourselves as well. So now I'm going to talk about the karmic meanings, karmic lessons, and the past life memories that may surface during this super full Beaver Moon on the 15th of November. So karmically, it wants us to dig into our subconscious, uncover hidden truths. As I said, it can be a beautiful time for spiritual growth and enlightenment, and we can get a deeper understanding of our karmic path and how it influences our present reality, confronting us to, confront our motivations and desires. And again, it just brings the theme of nurturing protection on the karmic level and the cycles of life, prompting us to examine how these aspects, how we have felt protected in our life, so how we have not felt protected, how we felt nurtured in our life or we have not, why we may feel we're undeserving of nurturing love and acceptance and forgiveness, and so on. And really reflecting on these insights can lead to profound self-discovery, and we may realise that certain relationships or life situations mirror our past experiences in this life or past lives, and this can offer us an opportunity for growth and healing. And by engaging with these karmic lessons, we can break free from our old patterns and become a more authentic versions of ourselves as well. And as we dig deeper into our emotions, maybe journaling our thoughts and feelings, and by doing this can help us clarify our path towards resolution and empowerment. It can bring past life memories or dreams that are linked to the pursuit of knowledge, enlightenment, spiritual growth, psychological, emotional balancing. We may find ourselves drawn to exploring philosophical, spiritual, even religious or intellectual concepts right now, and just seeking answers to existential questions that have lingered within our subconscious. In real life terms, you may find yourself drawn to activities that push you to expand your knowledge or challenge your beliefs. This can come by assisting friends or meeting new people, or just watching something, listening to a podcast, something like that. And by tapping into the energy of the super full Beaver Moon and working with your vivid dreams or fleeting memories, because they can serve as windows into your soul's journey that offer wisdom that can transcend time. by, embracing any past life reflections or any other experience that makes you think right now. Whatever resonates with you, whatever you feel drawn to right now, is it trying to encourage you to acknowledge the lessons learned and the emotional residues that are carried over into this lifetime from past lifetimes, and you may discover insights into your relationships, fears or ambitions that are rooted in previous experiences. And this awareness not only can increase your personal growth, but also equips you to make more conscious choices moving forward, and can align you with actions that are more in alignment with your true self and purpose. So now I'm going to talk about the aspects that the moon and sun make at the time of this full moon, and how they influence this full moon. So the first one is the moon making a quintile to Saturn and the moon making a conjunction to Uranus. So this allows us to be more creative in our problem solving, and again supports us with starting new things and having an increased sense of responsibility that can make us have productive outcomes, especially when we channel our feelings into tangible goals, goals that we can touch, and allow our emotions to guide us in a disciplined manner. And this warns us, or tells us that it wants us to blend our intuition, our gut feelings right now, with our logic and practicality. The moon's conjunction to Uranus can add to the unpredictability and excitement we can experience right now. It gives us and supports us in bringing those changes that are needed, as I talked about earlier. It also can bring a desire for freedom, and this surge of inspiration can impassionate us. We can feel like, I've got this. But if we get too wild, it can lead to emotional volatility and us doing too much and being impulsive. So we can find ourselves kind of oscillating. 1 minute wanting stability, the next minute wanting to be spontaneous and have some fun in our lives, and this can create internal tension. So embracing the balance between these energies is crucial. The sun also makes an opposition to Uranus, and the moon also sets stars Neptune. So we can experience this adds a clash between our core identity and once again our desire for independence. The sun's opposition to Uranus wants us to rebel against restrictions, and this can make us more moody, restless and misunderstood, and we can misunderstand others. It really wants us to go beyond conformity and tradition right now, and once again it supports us in doing activities that resonate with our authentic self. But we just need to once again watch out for them impulsive decisions and actions that can add to the tension and disrupt the sense of stability the moon in Taurus is trying to bring us. But the moon sets star to Neptune brings a nice counterbalance, encourages us to have emotional connection, increases our intuition and allows us to tap into our creative side. It once again shows us that there can be increase in empathy and sensitivity right now. So, being creative, especially in the way that we channel our emotions, can be really good, and engaging in spiritual practices like yoga, tai chi, meditation can be really good as well. And ultimately, it can bring a sense of clarity and purpose. But with all Neptune energy, it can also make us want to escape, ignore red flags, manipulate others, being manipulated. We can imprison ourselves, we can overindulge in intoxicating substances and relationships as well. So we just need to watch out for the potential chaos this energy brings. But although this chaos can be fertile ground for self-discovery and innovation as well. The sun also makes a trine to Neptune, and the moon makes a trine to Pluto. So Pluto supports our transformation, Neptune supports our imagination and can bring lots of inspiration. So this is really good. So it allows us to increase our intuitive abilities and allows us to align our dreams, our visions with our goals more effortlessly. And it just allows us to, work on creative projects, and they can flow more naturally under this energy. And again, it brings a strong connection to our spiritual higher self as well. It also allows us to dig deep into our subconscious and the toxic thoughts that can live there that drive our toxic behavior behaviours so we can start or continue the work of, healing and managing them. It can also uncover hidden truths, and this can help us gain clarity about our life direction. Some of you may be secrets other people have sort of like withheld from you, or secrets you kept from someone can be revealed. And although this can add to tension, whatever happens now is meant to happen. It's important once again because this energy of the sun's trying to Neptune can also allow us, or well, not allow us, push us to escape. So we just have to be crucial to maintain grounded perspectives and not lose ourselves in fantasies. And the moon's trying to Pluto again allows us to confront and integrate lingering issues, and it wants us to bring more authenticity into our relationships and the way that we act. It allows us to have those deep and meaningful conversations, and it allows us once again to let go of old patterns, which the full moon is all about, and embrace new beginnings as well. And again, all of this can be overwhelming, but it can also serve as a catalyst for healing and empowerment, and we can just emerge with a renewed sense of purpose and self. The sun also makes a biquintal to Chiron, so this is nice sort of energy which helps us with our creative healing, self-discovery, love, acceptance and care. It wants us to find a sense of identity and self-expression and allows us to do that. It also wants us to work through our past wounds around us, being able to express ourselves and have self-esteem and be vulnerable with ourselves and others as well. It wants us to draw upon our personal experiences to inspire others if you can, or at least inspire yourself, and just gain a more deeper understanding of your healing journey, or you can give others a deeper understanding of your healing journey. Again, it's another energy that wants us to find a sense of empowerment by, using creativity to express our hurt and to transform our emotions as well. But again, it can bring tension between our need for self-acceptance and the desire for external validation right now. And while you may feel compelled to say your stories with others, it's essential to strike a balance between expressing your truth and seeking approval from others, and being mindful of over-analysing and doing too much. And it wants us to embrace the lessons that you've learned so far in your life and just allow for your healing process to unfold naturally, because sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves that why ain't I healed already? Well, as I keep on saying, for some of us we're healed in a year, over it's 10 years, over it's 20 years. The trick is to keep on going, seeing failures as not, oh, let's stop, but failures as at least I'm trying, let's try something new, and just keep on trying. So it just allows us to connect with our inner self and also other people as well, and it's another aspect that allows us to have more empathy and understanding for others. The sun also makes a biquintal to the midheaven, so this is sort of energy. It wants us to blend our personal identity with our public persona, making sure that these two are in line and not vastly different. Sometimes we have a persona that we put on in the professional world, and it is needed sometimes because we can't be just being all emotional all the time, especially for emergency work and stuff, and the person's depending on us to keep them calm or save their lives. But this energy allows us to shine in our personal life and our professional life and do really well in our career goals. And it allows us to find innate talents we didn't know that we had, and it helps us to carve out a distinct path that resonates with your true self. So if you're thinking of moving career or starting a side hustle or a course, this energy is supporting that as well. Also allows us to work with others and find new opportunities as well. For some of you, you may consider how your personal achievements can inspire those around you. You may share your stories of your success with others, and this can empower them as well. But negatively, we can have self-doubt, and there can be conflict between our professional ambitions and our personal desires, and these can get in the way. You may just want to take time off work, but you really needed that work right now as well. But if you do feel like you've had enough of your job, use this energy to reassess what success truly means to you and what sort of career you do really want as well. It reminds us to remain adaptable and open to change, and this this energy can reveal hidden potentials that align more closely with your authentic self, and this can come as a shock to you, but if you embrace the process of transformation and focus on making choices that not only advance your career but nourish your spirit and individuality, you can do really well under this energy. So now I'm going to talk about the Sabin degrees that are affecting this super full Beaver Moon, just to give us some deeper layers of interpretation and to just confirm which the Sabin degrees a lot of time, or just add more sort of like depth as well and further information to the best uses of this super full Beaver Moon on the 15th of November. So we have the Sun in the 30th degree of Libra, which rules the left utera in the human body, and it has the Sabin symbol 3 mounds of knowledge on a philosopher's head. We've got the Moon also in the 30th degrees of Aries at the exact time of the full moon, but as we know, the Moon moves into Taurus, and I've already dealt with that Sabin symbol earlier. So yeah, the 30th degree of Aries rules the pituitary gland in the human body and has the Sabin symbol a duck pond and its brood. And Saturn's in the 19th degree of Aries, and this rules the spinal nervous system and has the Sabin symbol a forest fire quenched. Uranus is in the 2nd degree of Taurus, and this rules the palate in our bodies and has the Sabin symbol electrical storm. Neptune is in the 4th degree of Aries, and this rules the nerves of the left foot in the human body and has the Sabin symbol heavy traffic on a narrow isthmus, so just like a narrow kind of bridge-like road that links to places. And in this symbol, no, in this imagery, that's the right word, it's the isthmus is linking to suicide resorts. Pluto's in the 6th degree of Capricorn. This rules the right adductor muscle in the human body, and it has the Sabin symbol a dark archway and 10 logs at the bottom. And Chiron is in the 26th degree of Pisces, and this rules the plantar nerves in the human body and has the Sabin symbol a new moon that divides its influences. And the Midhaven's in the 25th degree of Pisces, and this rules the left distal in the tibial fibular joint in the human body, and this has the Sabin symbol the purging of a priesthood. So the Sun with the symbology, the 3 mounds of knowledge, again wants us to find a balance between our intellect and emotions, encouraging us to seek balance between our rational thoughts and inner feelings. The Moon in the 30th degree of Aries again shows that there can be emotional intensity and impulsiveness at this time, and this can lead to conflict between our logic and instincts, so this requires careful navigation, and we just need to be watchful of what we're saying and be respectful of other people's boundaries while also asserting ours as well. So yeah, moving on to Saturn, that has the Sabin symbol of forest fire quench. This shows the need to extinguish intense situations and conflicts, and it brings the energy of resolution and calming energies regarding our health issues and personal transformation. Uranus, with its Sabin symbol electric storm, shows that there can be sudden changes and disruptions. So, once again, showing there can be unexpected events or innovations that affect communication, stability and taste at this time. Neptune in the 4th degree of Pisces, that is symbolised by the heavy traffic, again highlights there can be communication issues and mobility issues right now as well, and this can lead to feelings of confusion or being stuck in a situation with limited options. So some of you may want to leave a destructive relationship but can find it hard to do so, or you may want to just leave a relationship not because it's disruptive, you just want to go, but you may feel like a partner needs you, or they may make you feel like they need you, or family issues, you may want to move to another country and stuff like that. There can be something getting in your way, so you have to navigate that, and this can make you feel confused because you may want to stay but you may also feel you need to go as well. There's a song by The Clash, so the stay or so the go, which could help you at this time. Pluto in the 6th degree of Capricorn, which has the sabin symbol, a dark archway. Pluto here also brings transformative energy that can help us uncover hidden truths and tap into our inner strength. It gives us the energy to navigate and overcome obstacles with resilience, which is really good as well. Supports us in becoming empowered. Chiron in the 26th degree of Pisces allows us to heal deep wounds, but also can make us feel vulnerable and insecure. And the midheaven in the 25th degree of Pisces supports us with our spiritual purification and renewal, just reconnecting with our spiritual practice or finding a spiritual practice. But also on the negative end, the midheaven here can bring challenges in our relationships with authority figures or spiritual leaders or anyone right now. So we just have to be mindful of these conflicts and setbacks that can happen this time and just try to overcome them or walk away from them. So now I'm just going to talk a bit more about the physical and overall health implications and the esoteric occult implications of these sabin degrees. So the sun in the 30th degree of Libra again can make us feel intellectual curious. It's associated with the left uter, so it wants us to sort of like purify our bodies again as well and look after our emotional health, and brings our attention to the need to process our feelings effectively, finding that emotional, psychological and spiritual release in healthy ways and seeking out tools that can help us do that. It wants us to become aware of any imbalances or blockages we may have in our left uter or our whole sort of urine system, as well as our bowel system as well, and just looking after our bowel and urine health as well. And it wants us to just do things that promote both physical and emotional and psychological and spiritual well-being. And we may just find ourselves more on a quest for truth right now as well, and maybe seeking mentorship. We can just reveal also layers of understanding that can aid our personal growth via dream or books or something else as well. And it wants us to integrate more knowledge into our life and be receptive to new ideas that challenge our existing beliefs, allowing ourselves to grow through them as well. The moon in the 30th degree of Aries again, is associated with the production of saliva, and so it once again focuses on expression. It supports us in expressing our thoughts and feelings, and pushing for focusing our verbal interactions, so making sure we're communicating with purpose here. And also to think about any deeper emotional or communication issues that need our attention. Maybe you find it hard to get your words out, maybe you can't talk, or could you write your feelings out or find another expression to let out your psychological, emotional, spiritual feelings. It wants you to encourage yourself to be more open in conversations in your personal relationships and with yourself as well. Because a lot of the time we can hide ourselves from ourselves because we don't want to face those hard truths. It allows us to sort of like feel safe and support this energy, and it wants us to find a balance between our independence and working with others as well. Saturn in the 19th degree of Aquarius brings our attention to our spinal nervous system, which is essential for our physical stability and transmission of nerve impulses throughout the body. So it encourages us to look after our stress levels right now and do things to chill out and relax, and to reduce our emotional turbulence as well, and to sort of like pay attention to any discomfort or tension that we may feel in our spine or bones, knees, back at this time as well, as this can indicate areas where you may need to release suppressed emotions and address imbalances in your life right now. It also reminds us of the need for discipline in maintaining our physical health as well, and wants us to find healthy routines and implement them that can promote our nervous system regulation and resilience as well. And it just supports us once again to transform, and it reminds us that we have the ability to get rid of, extinguish the chaos in our lives and restore balance. And it just reminds us once again to, clear old patterns that get in the way of your progress. Esoterically, it wants us to reflect on the lessons of regeneration and the importance of letting go and letting go of the old and allowing the new in for growth, and remind us by confronting our past traumas we can make way for emotional healing and clarity. Uranus in the second degree of Taurus rules the palate, and it wants us to look after our sensory experience. It encourages us to explore our relationship with food, taste and pleasure, and it can reveal underlying emotional and psychological issues related to nourishment of food. Some of us have food problems now, or nourishment in terms of receiving, giving ourselves emotional, spiritual and psychological nourishment, or rejecting nourishment from others as well. It wants us to look into our eating habits and any disruptions that may come in them, or any transformations we may need to do with our eating or exercise habits right now. It wants us to reassess our connection to our physical sensations and how they are influencing our well-being, reminding us to be mindful of any tendencies to overindulge or underindulge or aversion to certain textures and stuff. And I know, we have autism, some of us, and other conditions that make us fear certain textures, so I understand that as well. It wants us basically to release outdated patterns around our self-worth and physical pleasure, and it wants us to be more authentic and balanced with our relationship with our body and its needs. And Neptune wants us to pay attention to the health of our feet as well, and it wants us to explore issues related to our stability and mobility, and find a balance between looking after our feet and leg health in general as well, squatting, feet massages, stuff like that, resistance in some other way, and just to think about the way we support or neglect our personal foundations and why we do this. As I said earlier, a lot of us, we sabotage ourselves, and the imagery of the heavy traffic on the narrow isthmus shows us that we may be at a crossroads, and we must manage competing desires or obligations, our responsibilities, so we can reduce the stress and friction that can come up at this time, or recognise that the stress and friction is telling us to do something. It reminds us to set boundaries and prioritise what truly resonates with our spirit right now, and not to become lost in the noise. Pluto's in the 6th degree of Capricorn, and it brings attention to our right adductor muscle, and again it just wants us to sort of focus on our daily routines and responsibilities, making sure that we're meeting them, and explore the deeper layers of our life and the limits that we may have imposed on ourselves, and ask ourselves, why do we think we can't do the things that we may not think we can do? And again, it just supports us in releasing stagnant energies and letting go. Chiron in the 26th degree of Pisces, again, wants us to pay attention to our feet, especially our plantar nerves. They can get tense. Now, there's lots of exercise out there, but what works for me is those little spike balls that you can get, what you normally use with your hands. Some of you may need socks, some of you can do it with bare feet, and just rub, try and do it each morning for 30 seconds a minute. Rub that underneath your feet, and it does wonder for plantar fascia and all sorts of foot problems. So it just makes sure you can do that, and it's within your range. I'm not saying that to be patronising. I just know that some people have deeper mobility issues and stuff. So ultimately, Chiron is wanting us to address our subconscious issues and traumas that are holding us back from feeling the richness of our life. And the feet in astrology is Pisces, so looking after our Pisces, our spiritual needs as well. And it wants us to be more discerning in our decisions and who and what we allow in our life as well. And it just wants us to navigate the complexity of our emotions and seek a balance between our goals and past experiences, and just try to understand ourselves on that deeper level. the midheaven in the 25th degrees of Pisces that rules the left tibular-fibula joint, so our legs again, wants us again to pay attention to our balance and stability and address any discomfort issues as well. And it emphasises the importance of trusting our instincts and intuition as we navigate our social and professional lives, and just find a deeper understanding of the dynamics at play in our relationships with figures of authority. And the Sabian symbol of the purging of the priesthood again reminds us to let go of the practices, relationships and beliefs that no longer serve your highest purpose, your true potential. And it wants us to transform our spiritual, personal and professional lives and embrace new ways of thinking. So this new moon just really wants us to think and embrace spirituality or higher consciousness or philosophical concepts into our life, and to get rid of our emotional, spiritual and psychological baggage, or start the work of doing so, seeking out tools and resources, and just become more authentic and have more freedom in our lives. So now I'm just going to finish up by talking about the best things for creatives, professionals, entrepreneurs, alternative healers, lovers, singles and self-partnered to do at the time of this full moon and the whole month up to the next full moon. So creatives should use this time for innovative projects and inspirations. Professionals may find success by taking bold career leaps or starting new ventures. Entrepreneurs are encouraged to trust their instincts and make strategic business decisions. Alternative healers, this is a good time for energy work and spiritual practices. Lovers can deepen their connections with each other and their passion. Singles may find clarity in what they truly desire in their life partner, making way for a more fulfilling relationship in the future. Self-partnered individuals are reminded to focus on love and personal growth during this time. And as the moon goes into Taurus, creatives can also use this time over the next month to rethink their projects and ideas and bring some projects to an end if you can. Professionals can benefit from focusing on practical matters and long-term goals. Entrepreneurs are advised to make their business foundations more solid and establish more financial security. Alternative healers can use this energy to promote actual hands-on healing of themselves and clients, and nurture themselves and clients in healthy ways. Lovers can use this time to indulge in sensual pleasures and create a nice, intimate, cozy atmosphere. Singles can find comfort in familiar routines and exploring their passions. Self-partnered individuals should take this opportunity to establish or re-establish strong boundaries and cultivate a sense of security within themselves. So yeah, in conclusion, this super full Beaver Moon in Aries and Taurus wants us to trust our intuition and remain open to new possibilities while also staying grounded. It wants us to trust in the universe's plan for us and be receptive to the transformations ahead, and to sort of embrace the energy to start new projects and tackle challenges head on and increase motivation and drive. But just watch out for the impulsiveness, as I said, and be mindful of being too aggressive or reckless in actions and words. The Taurus energy brings that stability and practicality and groundedness, great for creating a sense of identity, security and building solid foundations in all aspects of your life, whether it be your exercise goals or your spiritual practice. It encourages us to take a grounded, practical approach and pay attention to our physical comforts and material needs, but not overspending and going overboard. It can help us establish long-term plans, work diligently towards our financial goals and enjoy the simple pleasures of life, and just have a greater sense of appreciation for the simple things as well. But negatively, we can become overly resistant to change or become too materialistic. The best use of this energy is to combine the assertiveness and independence of Aries with the stability and practicality of Taurus, and use this time to set ambitious yet realistic goals and work strategically towards meeting them, and cultivate a balanced approach that balances passion with practicality, and embrace change when necessary, but also remember to prioritize stability and long-term growth in all of your plans. So yeah, that's the end of this very in-depth special on the super full Beaver Moon on the 15th of November. I'm Amani, your holistic karmic astrological life coach, and take care, and I will see you next time.